GM Farcaster, we are back. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you, Adrian. So we haven't talked to each other since you guys last saw us until about two minutes ago. And then I was like,
right?
Don't say anything else. Let's talk on screen. So yeah, it's been like 10 days or something. It's been a week and a half.
Definitely the longest we've gone without yapping.
For real. We both needed a break in general. And I still have been sick. So I've been sick this whole time. I was just thinking, I'm like, I'm going to pop a cough drop just in case. But I'm better, much better than I was when I last saw you all. But it's been just me resting and trying to feel better this whole time. So, and you are traveling about and having fun and had a great vacay. And how was everything?
Everything was great. We just went down to Florida with the fam, did the traditional, pilgrimage from the Northeast, dark, cold, to warmer, sunnier Florida.
Yeah.
Saw family, saw some friends. It was pretty chill, but I really disconnected. I brought my laptop. No, I didn't bring my laptop. I brought my tablet and my notepad, paper. And I was like,
paper. Jeez.
I'm going to do my kind of annual planning and reflecting and goal set. No, didn't.
No, none of that.
Was not on Farcaster much even. I dipped in.
Yeah, you were very quiet. Wait, what number did you end up at for the rewards for last week? I'm curious.
That's a personal question, Prof.
Don't make me go look for the leaderboard.
Okay. So there's been 2 weeks of rewards.
Right.
And it's the top, it's 400 people get it. So the first week, and I'm only knowing this because I'm looking, I got $15, which is I think it's the top 200. And then and then this past week I got 10. So it's I think I was 20 something, I was in the bottom 200 of the top 400.
Of the top 400. But that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because you were very offline, which was unusual.
Are you saying that's not good enough?
It's not your worth, so don't worry about it. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this a little later. And we'll dive into the drama, not the drama, but the fun around the rewards. But it was, I was just curious because you were you took a good break and I was very impressed. Your casts also felt most of them weren't about Farcaster, right? Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
All the casts were about other things that you were, experiencing in the world. And that's not a bad thing at all. And GM, to our chatters, we're so glad you're here. I know a lot of you were taking some breaks. We've got the New Year background going. So yeah, just for a little bit of fun today. Thinking a lot about our graphics and things and how to, there you go. So you can see it a little better. And I did a lot of thinking, but not some serious planning. It was more thinking about things.
You got to do the thinking before you do. If you go right to committing to something, you're not in a good headspace. So you got to really detach. And it's nonstop. If you're doing a live show 3 days a week for 52 weeks a year, which is what we did, 51 weeks. We took 1 week off.
51 weeks. So we took 1 week off.
You just can't, it's hard to detach and really think. And there's a million things I know we want to do to get better. And I think we're a little impatient. You want it all now. And it was really nice to kind of step back and be wait, but where were we a year ago? And we had barely had any guests. I think we were still doing 21 minutes of news.
We were.
We were not on I think we might've been using Google Meet, just from we
were still using OBS. We were still using OBS. Right. We were still using Google Meet.
We weren't on YouTube.
We weren't on YouTube. We've come, it's amazing. There were some things that were posted and I'm I can't believe that was in 2024. It just is, it's mind-blowing how much happened in the past year. Like, absolutely mind-blowing. I don't feel like I am the same person I was a year ago, not even close. And, like, I have no idea who I'm gonna be and what I'm gonna be in a year from now. So, but it was really good to kinda look back, see everything we did, and I definitely get impatient where things don't feel like they're moving fast enough. Maybe I haven't seen enough success. Like, have we done enough? Do we have enough subscribers? No, we don't. Anywhere I look, like, no, we don't. All those things. And I'm like, but from 0, we look pretty good.
I feel the same. So easy to be disappointed because I think we also get a lot of love on the timeline, which people have no idea how much we appreciate. And it feels really good.
Clue.
Like, I feel great about, like it's amazing to have people who know who we are and that feels great. But then you'll look at kind of some of the stats and you're like, oh, but we don't really have numbers, especially when you compare to other established podcasts. But we're niche.
We're niche.
And we're just going to keep going.
Yeah. And I just but I definitely found a lot of resolve, like looking back at what we have done. And I was looking at other people's recaps and things like that. I'm like, oh, I really should do that. But I just don't have the energy at this moment. But just thinking about it, I'm like, wow, that was tremendous. We did incredible work in this past year. And I'm just excited to now start to tweak all these things and move all these levers and really see what we can do in the next year.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. I also don't believe I'm one of those, I'll say Happy New Year until February. I'm I don't care.
This is something you said. So we started the show and she said, the new year can't start on a Wednesday.
No, it's it's the weekend's almost here. I'm not everyone's go, 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 January 1st. Chill, people.
Yeah.
We're practically in a weekend.
January next week sometime will be when we really start.
I also have this just innate counterculture. If I see everyone doing one thing, then I just kind of have to do something else. It's a sickness. That's why I hate the current thing.
It's frightening. It's frightening how much we are alike in that way.
So part of me is oh, you're all doing your end of year recaps now. Well, you're definitely not gonna get. But it helps with the FOMO. I don't feel I need to get our Blabber list out or no, you're gonna see. I'm gonna drop it in 3 weeks from now, and you all are gonna love it.
Well, the other thing is, and I was thinking that too. I was thinking about I saw some cute people little edits from podcast, and I was like, you know what, that awesome one you did when we hit 1 year. I was like, I wouldn't do anything different. I'm like, I'd rather do it then. That to me was perfect, and I loved it. And I'm like, we'll just do that again then.
But we need both. We need it all.
We do. But also we're coming up on season 3. We are 4 episodes away from season 3. And that's sort of what I'm looking at as our new year. So you'll hear more from us then. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That's our new year. That's our new year. Yeah. Also 3 weeks from now, people will have given up on their New Year's resolutions already. Truth. That is incredibly true. Incredibly true. But here we are. So it is 2025. I'm calling it the year of the penguin. You guys call it whatever you want. For me, it's the year of the penguin. I'm very excited. By the way, if you aren't aware, Pudgy Penguins has 38,000 different GIFs. And for every single holiday, they create new ones. So if you're looking for a GIF, look there. Look on Jiffy. But anyway, loved this picture. This is your background this was from Renee Campbell. I don't think it was her own photo. Maybe it was, but it was beautiful. I love this pink sort of filter. And there's something about, I was watching this yesterday live. There's something about the fireworks over Sydney Harbor that I just always love. It's that one, the Eiffel Tower, Dubai's always insane. There's certain areas of the world that the fireworks just really hit. And this is one of them. So love this.
Yeah,
So
it's
happy
beautiful.
New Year. So beautiful. Love this. Love this from SDV 12/31/2022. Farcaster is cool. Sorry, he's doing it the other way. 2023, Farcaster is really cool. 2024, Farcaster is incredible. And then Garrett, Farcaster is mainstream 2025.
Oh, wait, then where are we going to go?
We'll see about that.
Opportunity when Farcaster
Yeah.
goes mainstream, opportunity for a new client. You guys can all join
Opportunity
me
for a
in
new
my
client. Opportunity, another opportunity.
I don't want
Love this.
mainstream.
I know, not mainstream. I like us being niche. More of us would be lovely, but let's let's grow in a nice pace. I'm good with that. We don't need to be mainstream. This from Miriam. Take me to Farcaster, please, or the food court. Either way, I'll be very happy. Joining Farcaster this year and becoming friends with all of you was truly a special highlight of 2024. Wishing you all a happy new year. And I love the FC on the elevator. So that was just really, really cute. And we're glad that you found us, Miriam. This
We would
was the
we would all see that and think Farcaster as well.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. I'd be like, oh my God, that's so cool. We want to go to that elevator now. And this was from the chopping block. You referenced this earlier, the Blabber Leaderboard. As Force Facts, did everyone see this? I first saw this over on Twitter. And this is the chopping block from CoinDesk. So just think about that for a second. Laura Shin is number 2 on the Blabber list. And Dan Romero is number 1. Like the host is number 2. Like that was so funny. And Ted's number 3. Like
I guess
what a great Farcaster-ish list. It's so funny.
Yeah. That's amazing. I guess for the host though, like if you're a good interviewer,
True.
you say fewer things and you get people to talk. We have had Dan on our show. We don't interview. We just try to have conversations.
Just chat. Yeah.
He's so hard to have a conversation with, you guys, because it's not two-way. He really does yap. He comes on. By the way,
he's a great yapper.
He's an incredible. I mean, he comes on though, and he's just like, "Oh, what's on my mind?" And he'll just monologue for 20 minutes about anything. So I'm not surprised to see this. I really want to do this. By the way, I'm so close to having all of our being able to programmatically get word count. If we count the I might be number 1.
Yeah, probably. It's between the two of us. Like we have to take us out of the equation to get like a real number, because there's no way we aren't number 1 and number 2, because half the time we're doing the show by ourselves. So we're definitely 1 and 2. But this was cool.
And Ted was awesome. I remember Ted on the chopping block. It was great.
This is great. This is a great list. I love seeing Dan and Ted, 1 and 3 on there is amazing. It's been great seeing Laura Shin diving into Farcaster a little bit. Would love to see more of that. But I love this list. It was so fun. It's so fun. And I was like, oh, we really should do that. But then I was just like, no, I can't. I can't. I don't have it in me right now. But I did love it. And I loved this from Brad. End of year thanks to Farcaster community builders. Building community broadly across FC is hard. These 5 are doing it well. Live the Same by Hank Moody is tireless with 150 plus interviews of thoughtful FCers getting to know one another. I don't even think I've seen that, so really appreciated that shout out, so I can go check it out. And then GM Farcaster is creating a daily ritual, a digital third place to hang out and enjoy FC, led by Adrian and Nanish Prof. Sense is building a daily rhythm of questions, engagement, and support for each other, led by 3 Erica, Girl UA, and Tyler Faust. Peacock is building a community among artists with great interviews and engagement. Los Fomos, well-known, fun interviews, are providing a framework to get to know great Farcasters, led by Pauline and Taco. Hope these continue to shine and we add more in 2025. Thank you. So I loved this. Thank you, Brad. I really loved the framing of GM Farcaster as a third space. So third spaces being things like coffee shops, right? So it was like, yes, we're your neighborhood coffee shop.
And that comes from the first and second places being work and home.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's where most
exactly.
people are going between work and home. So where the third place is. And I think people have talked about like the decline of like organized religion. That was like primarily used to be like kind of a third place and that goes away. Yeah. So then what replaces that? Obviously GM Farcaster.
GM Farcaster.
Obviously like watching us on your TV on YouTube and hanging out is like the third place.
It's a third place, especially if you're jumping in our chat. I think that is where that makes a lot of sense, right? You're in our coffee shop, you're hanging out with us, we're chatting, and you're meeting other people, and they're in the chat with you. So that is how I envision this. I love it. Grab your coffee and join us every other day.
And I guess we may be revisiting hyper subs this year and stuff. I know we've been talking about that, but for those that are somewhat new and don't know, we have group chats for hyper sub members. We have group chats for people who are just kind of obsessively like our heaviest chatters and old friends. And we have our channel as well. So there are, and then at various conferences like ETH Denver and FarCon, we do meetups. So we're kind of building out community. And if you are new, lean in, say hello, introduce yourself, start chatting, make friends.
Perfect. Love it. And I think like, we have a lot of things to like rethink, readjust, and we'll be doing some of that early this year when it's, when we feel like it, when we're ready. This from Scott Comers. I saw Andrew Yang posted one too, and there's a few other folks about the math of 2025. So he didn't post it on Farcaster, and I don't know why. He only posted over an X, so I pulled it over here. Did everything feel a bit more mathematical this morning? That's because 2025 is a perfect square. Yes, 2025 is 45 to the second equals 1 plus 2 plus whatever. It's the first square year since 1936, and the next one is 2116. But that's not all redundant. So if you want to dive more, this gets very complicated and detailed. And he is, a math genius. This is not like he knows his stuff. So if you want to dive in more, go check out this thread over on X. It is quite something. So, and it really dives into the math of it all. But it was interesting seeing people talking about that a lot. And I don't know, what that actually means in anything, but I thought it was very interesting. So I don't think like this. So it doesn't, it didn't cross my mind. I didn't look at 2025 and go, oh, it's a perfect square. No, but I appreciate those who did. So that was pretty awesome.
And we're a quarter way into the new century that some of us remember the millennium like it was yesterday because we're old.
Literally. Yeah. I kept seeing notes about that. People posting things about, do you remember this? And I'm like, I vividly remember because we had a Y2K team at my work and I was on it. So I had to go at 6 a.m. on January 1st, 2000 and go turn on all the computers and make sure they worked because we had to turn them all off before we left. And we had to check and make sure everything was going to be working when we came back the next day. So it was crazy. So crazy. Way back in the day. So that was definitely my craziest New Year's experience for sure. This from Jay Hackworth, introducing Osmo, a Farcaster agent that generates your own personalized Farcaster Wrapped. Built this because I believe we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with agents in crypto and wanted to get my hands dirty. Some thoughts. So this is really cool. It was having some issues. I noticed like people were calling it and it would either take a long time to reply or not reply at all. And, which I think you could probably commiserate
Yeah. But look, and as he was talking about, it was like, oh, this is something I thought was interesting. What's the best way to learn? Is like you just get your hands dirty and you build something. So yeah, it's a little kind of little side project, threw something out. It's not going to be perfect. Yes, I can commiserate. Shout out GM FC1, my Farcaster bot, which is the dumbest AI anyone has ever met. But occasionally,
No, it's not.
You know how most AIs like will hallucinate.
It's getting there.
Hallucinate 5% of the time. Like my bot, 5% of the time, has the most insightful things to say and knows exactly, like his answer's so good. And I'm like, yeah, I love it. And 95% of the time, I'm like, what are you even talking about? And just like,
what is wrong with you?
But a reminder to everyone, I'm doing it in my spare time. And it's been it's been a few years since I was really a hands-on developer.
Since she was a coder. Yeah.
But I'm really actually optimistic because I know exactly what needs to get done and it's all doable. And with LLMs, like coding is so like it's all attainable and it's all going to happen. And this is the year you will be able to interact with GM Farcaster programmatically on the feed.
It's funny because I've seen so many people like comment about us doing a V2 frame. But mostly people tagging us in casts where people are looking for information to get caught up. And I feel like everything they're talking about will be addressed well with your bot once it's working the way it should. It's like the bot, I feel like the bot is the thing like that they're asking for, but it's just not quite there yet. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is what, just if you want to nerd out for a sec, what I realize is I need to be able to parse the intent of the question and then figure out what path to take. So if someone says, hey, what's new on Farcaster? The bot doesn't have a concept of time. So it just does, like, it has access to transcripts and it's using LLM, like pattern matching to find when did we talk about something like that? And then it'll be like, oh, you should check out episode 14. Here's the link. And you're like, but that's not what I asked. So I have all the metadata, right? So that's kind of more deterministic. Like, so I have to parse the intent. And if you're asking like certain questions and I can like, okay, focus on these transcripts, like there will be a way to do it. But right now there's only one.
It just takes time.
There's no if statements. It's not like if you're asking this, go here. It's just an LLM that has a little bit of access to things we've talked about.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this is funny. The good old days when we turned computers off. Do you remember?
We weren't surveilled. Can we also talk about Equilibrium yet?
We're getting there.
Not yet. Because that threw me for the nostalgic, like, of like, oh, remember when like I could walk outside the house and not be filmed? I miss those days.
Yeah, that's
everywhere I go.
Not anymore. Not anymore. So a few other things on Awesome O. This was mine, and there was a couple things in here that I thought were pretty good. It did say I was 99.08% of Farcaster users wish they could cast as much as you. I don't know.
Wait, you've been active for more days of a year.
I know.
That's impressive.
Well, it was a leap year.
Oh,
it was a leap year. 366.
That's awesome.
366. I love that this comment was funny. We hope you've taken a break to eat and sleep at some point, but who needs that when you have Farcaster? Now let's talk about likes and recasts. You have a staggering 253,000 likes. I love it. So that was kind of fun. And then it went on. It had some like really funny things. It did shout you out as my now on to whose cast you have liked the most, Adrian. And by the way, it went the other way too.
Mine too. So like you're number one on both ways. Like I guess that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. This powerhouse not only co-hosts the Farcaster News Show, but also manages to bring joy into work with DevOps practices. Oh, and she's a mom of 3. We're guessing her casts are filled with a wild mix of text, news, and diaper changes. No diaper changes.
No.
No diaper changes. And my seconds were DWR and Tony Hawk. No surprises here. And again, they went the other direction. I did love this though. Also, GM Farcaster going live from FarCon at 9:30 a.m. PT was our my number one most liked cast. So that is not surprising, and it also one of my favorite memories from the past year. So very fun. So the Osmo was very fun. Had some good insights. Go check it out. Very cool. Couple other New Year's fun things. If you don't know Maya Drayson from Time Magazine and Timepieces NFT project, she's amazing. She is an incredible brand manager and branding expert. And every year she sets an intention, a word of the year that's supposed to be like the intention for the year. And she had a couple years in a row where GM was her word. Last year, I think it was divine. And she said she didn't quite hit where she thought it was going to. And this year, you can go check out her word of the year. And it is down home. So coming back to like more down home, like, I don't know, just like feeling like more in her home space, I guess. So I thought that was kind of a interesting shift, but go check that out. A lot of fun there. Also, Boys Club had their 2025 predictions, and I was dying. These are so good and so funny. We have to go through them. All right, 2025 predictions. Sweet Green accepts base USDC. I mean, that could happen. Like some of these, I'm like, that could happen. The next one, KOLs in the White House press pool, that will happen. Like, I have no doubt at all that the press pool is going to be really interesting this time around. A non-dating show. Do you remember the dating game? Like from like the 70s?
Like the actual one, of course.
The actual one, like the original.
Yeah, Bachelor. Like that was literally like Bachelorette number 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, exactly. They couldn't see who was behind the wall. So it essentially was the original non-dating show.
Right. They answered questions and then you chose who was behind a freaking curtain.
Right. Like based on like they picked 1, 2, or 3 based on their answers to their question. Yeah. So
right. And now
we're going back in time.
Right. And now with the apps like dating, it's like purely the other way, right? So it's just tell me what you look like.
I need to see what you look like before I even get to know you. Yes, exactly. Funny story. I once went out with this guy. He was way too young for me, but really nice. And he was just talking about like how he was struggling to meet people on Bumble and blah, blah, blah. And I helped him redo his whole entire profile. And then he met a bunch of women and he was so happy. He was a really nice guy. And he was, perfect, like just had all the things, but just did not present himself well. So I fixed him.
Are you offering that service to anyone else?
Sure. I'll be happy to help any. Yes, I totally would help anybody do that. Honestly, like I took pictures for him and stuff like that, like because his pictures were horrible. Like he just wasn't good at showing himself. And he was a really nice guy, but it just wasn't for me. He was too young. He was like 13 years younger than me. I have now adjusted my thinking there, but at the time that seemed too young. Okay, moving on. Sleep to earn. I like that. Let's do that. That sounds great. And I feel like that Brian Johnson would be in favor of that. Brian Armstrong bleaches his eyebrows. Please don't do that, Brian.
What's the backstory on eyebrow bleaching? Okay.
I don't know, but
because
Brian Armstrong with bleached eyebrows and the bald head, like that seems like a recipe for disaster. Please don't do that. Trending TikTok sound of someone getting rugged. Polymarket Netflix show, would totally watch that. AI OnlyFans meets AI crypto. That's definitely happening. And I'm still shocked that Brian Guan has not done that yet. Honestly, I really thought that was the direction he'd eventually end up in. Your ex joins Farcaster. That is my nightmare come true. So it has not come true. Please don't let it come true. I do not want that. Thank you. All my exes stay in Texas, please. 0x Designer face reveal. Did you meet 0x Designer at December when I met him? That guy,
so.
incredibly handsome. Incredibly handsome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he want you doxing him this way?
That's all I'm saying.
Yes, he does.
Like,
yes, he does.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
No, I need to meet
all
him.
I said was that he's incredibly handsome.
I know, I'm kidding.
Newborn baby named after meme coin. I'm sure that's already happened. There's a little Doge out there somewhere. Dolly Parton admits crypto addiction. Listen, Dolly Parton is a national treasure and we need to save her at all costs. She should get nowhere near crypto. Please leave Dolly alone. Leave Dolly alone. Ted Not Lasso wins Crypto the Game Season 3. I would love to see that. Boys Club round trip 7 figures. Would not like to see that. Please don't, guys. Brian Johnson, erectile dysfunction death. Brian, I mean, it would be an interesting way to go, but don't. Please don't. Adrian Dittman comes out. I'll circle back to that in a second. Bukele wallet hack. The Pope makes a meme coin. Please don't. And Grimes promotes it. She would. Adrian Dittman, for those who don't know, do you know who that is? You've been a little bit offline, so I'm not sure if you know.
But not that but not that offline.
Okay. Okay. So that is somebody on Twitter who may or may not also be Elon. Speaking of Twitter,
if you missed it, I will give if you missed it, it's like is he a non or just a rando on Twitter?
Rando.
But he complimented Elon's parenting skills. So Elon posted about like accents and Adrian Dittman said like, Elon, you are such a good dad. And then someone did the analysis of like, this is Elon's alt.
Yeah.
No one knows.
It's Elon's alt. It's Elon's alt. Well, the big thing was that he was on a Twitter space. So everything went a little crazy on Twitter, which actually brings me to my next cast. So let me go there and then we'll recap that briefly. Is like you may not realize that this actually is connected. So this is from.
Oh my God, right. So much has happened in the last
Sriram.
10 days.
So Sriram.
We haven't even talked about swords.
Yeah. Is it? Oh, I know. I've got that too. I think it's Sriram. Sriram. Happy New Year, all. And Happy New Year to you, sir. Is the new AI guy for the White House. And then he got just attacked on Twitter regarding H-1B visas. And a whole lot of, let's just say, racism. So it was a little crazy over there. And Elon, in defending some of the H-1B, or let me rephrase that, Adrian Dittman, in defending some of the H-1Bs, was on a Twitter space talking about Elon in a voice that sounds strikingly familiar. So anyway, so it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Yeah, since we've been gone. So hopefully you've enjoyed that time off. But
I have enjoyed seeing Sriram cast more. He's casted a few times. He probably enjoys the less racism on Farcaster than Twitter.
Also, nobody's like, look, nobody's attacking him over here.
No.
Everyone's just saying Happy New Year.
Yeah. By the way, for those that don't know, Sriram was on a Moment of Zen at some point, an older episode.
I gotta go
so if you want to hear him chat with our friends Dan Romero and Antonio.
I wonder if I may have already heard that, but I'll have to go back and listen to it again. Speaking of like that, I think also that's probably the other reason that Dan is at the top of the Blabber list is he no longer does Moment of Zen, I don't think. So he's got pent up yapping that he needs to get out there. So we welcome you anytime, Dan. But also
he's an English major. He's born to yap.
He loves words. And Sriram, I will learn how to say your name properly, and we'd love for you to come by sometime on GM Farcaster and talk to us about all the things. We'd love that. This from anything else you want to say about that before I?
No, but I just think we're ready to step up our guests in 2025. So
yeah, we're gonna step it up.
Stay tuned.
Tab Farcaster is an organic bottoms up SV for crypto. Farcaster appeals to builders primarily. It kind of always has. It's open so anyone can come and hang out, but social capital is built through proof of work and being a positive community member. So this is more like reminder, folks.
If you're new here,
this is true. This is all true. And I just like that. And he went on to talk a little bit more about a few other things. So go take a look at that. Love that. I got to switch to my other group of links. Yeah. So we've been gone for a while. So I realize that we do attempt to do 29 minutes. We're running a little longer today. We got a little bit more to talk about. But I have the insanity over on Twitter. I have to say, although entertaining, I have been grateful that it has not been. It hasn't completely taken over our world over here. So that has been.
Thank you. That's us saying thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate the sanity. I really do. So rewards, the second week of rewards went out. It was a photo finish. I finished 70 out of 400, but my response was, okay, which one of you MFers bumped me out of 69th place? And it was revealed that it was DGen. Was it DGen Ventures? Oops, I'm looking at the wrong one.
DGen Veteran.
DGen Veteran bumped me. I can't find there it is. You were leading the way. So DGen Veteran said, not one to brag, but I don't need to try for the top spot anymore. I got the true number one on Warpcast rewards. He was the one who bumped me from the coveted 69th position. And this was from Dan to help you better understand Warpcast rewards. Why does my score go down? If users removes likes, recast, replies, the engagement score for each cast will be recalculated when the job runs hourly. We will likely tweak this in early 2025 so you don't lose your score. Should I cast less to get a higher score? No, it's based on total inbound engagement. If you have a lot of followers, your engagement score is normalized relative to accounts that have fewer followers. But casting more with decent engagement will lead to a higher score than casting a few times with really high engagement. Newer accounts with fewer casts are scoring highly. Yes, we adjust for active followers, which makes a difference. We will likely revisit and tweak the adjustment if it feels like the meta shifts too much toward new accounts. We want a balanced game. And then 4, what is an active follower? A follower active in the last number of days and is not an account Warpcast believes to be spammy. So they're not telling us how many days, but maybe 7 is my guess. I don't know. So that is what is playing into the score. So what was really funny in this last round was that SwampNet was right there. She was right at number 5. And she was holding strong. And she was putting in a lot of effort, like a lot of effort to win that, coveted top 5 spot. And Matthew came in at the last minute and just posted some news from his life and bumped her right out of the top 5. It was kind of sad. I got to be honest. It's a little sad. I'm sorry.
I did not. Was she casting about this? I missed
yes.
it. I was like, how did you know? How were you following the top 5?
She was talking about
really
it.
Wanted to. Oh.
I forgot to grab the cast, but she was doing some funny things with her mother-in-law, like posting these really funny pictures. There were swords involved. There was a whole thing, which we haven't even gotten to the swords yet. So it was just really funny because it was right up until, like, I'm talking like less than a day left, and she was still in the 5 spot. And then he just like, "Hey guys, I'm moving over to splits." And it was like, boom, his thing blows up and she gets bumped out of 5. I'm so sorry, Swapnet. You didn't deserve to be done dirty like that by Matthew. It wasn't his fault though. He was just like post casting like normal. So we're very sorry.
But also, whether you're number 5 or number 6 or 401 and you didn't get any rewards, like,
we still love you.
Don't get so upset.
We still love you. We really do. Yeah, it was really kind of funny to like watch the leaderboard at that last minute because I was invested just to like see like where she ended up because I knew she was putting so much effort in. So speaking of the other news I just mentioned.
Wait, I'm going to go back to SwapNet. I just have to say, so this goes back to Farcaster requires proof of work. SwapNet has been putting the work in, but she's not been here for years and years. And so she came in. She is killing it. If you're not following her, follow her. She
please do.
She's fantastic. But I mean, Matthew has a very low FID, which is not your worth either, except he's put the work in for, consistently over years. Yeah. So yeah, he gets a little, he's got the skill to bump you.
Yep. The game is the game. It's just,
you can say it's not fair, but he's been here. Yeah. So
no, and she didn't say it wasn't fair. It was nothing like that. It was more
you
playful.
Did. You said
I didn't say it wasn't fair. I didn't say it wasn't fair. The game is the game. What I'm saying is it was like hard to watch. Her like get bumped out of that spot when I knew she was working for it. It was just really funny. No, it's totally fair in terms of the game. And like, it was just funny. That, after all that effort. But this is a note from Matthew. This wasn't the one that kind of pushed him over the edge, but this was a little bit more from Matthew. It's been very fun to start my splits journey building with Proxy Studio, Dish, and McBain. I'm sure there will be lots more overlapping ideas to come. And this was in response to Proxy saying, been a pleasure using splits. We've integrated our team onto their team's product for ops and integrated splits into Clanker V2 for more customizable reward split. That's very cool. Now we're talking about using splits in another way. Splits team members like Matthew just joined Splits on Design and McBain have been engaging actively in the Clanker eco as creators and builders. ClankPad for your channel token needs. Really love the protocol and the team's products and like the people best. So the reason I'm kind of highlighting this is this feels like it's so like cool to see all these different folks coming to work with splits that are all from the Farcaster ecosystem and just like integrating that product and all of that. So it was really cool to see that. But yeah, so, and I did ask Matthew because I was like, okay, so what does this mean for events? It's still being maintained, but there's probably not going to be a lot of new releases anytime soon to the events platform. Yeah. Events.xyz. Since he is now, I think full-time with splits. So, but cool. Yeah. Exciting to see.
Congratulations.
These new opportunities. The other thing we have not talked about yet is Farcade. This happened while we were on break. Farcade launched, and it's been nuts. This was the week 1 recap. 135,000 gamers, 450K games played, 14 million Farcade points earned. This was 4 days ago, so it's even more now. Follow Friday and referral achievements are now live. In-app friend finding. Next week, new social network, new games, and new features. They're like on fire. This has been so fun. I regret deeply that it didn't exist 3 weeks ago when we did Casto. Because there's multiple ways this would have been used. So have you played it all? Because I know you've been sort of offline, so I wasn't sure if you played yet. I think I challenged you a couple times. You played a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I played a little bit of the tower blocks. and 2048, and yeah, we played a little.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked it out, thought it had to be open on the phone. Check out Farcade on your phone. You can find it in that center icon, the little 4 things. It'll be right there, and it is fantastic and a lot of fun. I am pretty obsessed with 2048 and now GeoCrush. So those are the 2. I cannot figure out the one that's like Space Invaders. I just can't. Like, I need a tutorial of some sort or something.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get it. I feel like I'm just wasting tickets playing it because I'm just not quite getting it. Tower Blocks is fine. It's a little boring for me. But I'm obsessed with the other 2. So, but it's been a lot of fun.
And it's a great V2 frame.
Yeah, great.
If
V2
you want to
frame.
understand the difference, like just imagine doing that on a. I mean, you
couldn't,
right? It was like 4 buttons.
Yeah, you couldn't. And it's great, and it's really fun. And the social graph is built in, so you can challenge friends and all of that. And I just can see how it's going to get built out. It's going to be very cool. So I think like this is I think the way we're kicking off 2025. Honestly, is this will be something we're talking about for a little bit. And swords, because why? I don't know. Just because.
Oh.
I don't know. Go ahead.
You're going to explain swords, the secret to where it came from and why it became so like why
I have no idea.
swords are the thing.
I honestly don't know. It was like this is how it felt like to me. All of a sudden there was a swords token, and then there was a swords channel, and then there were swords all over my timeline. And honestly, I mean, I'm here for it. I kind of like the swords. So I feel like it just hit some kind of thing with everybody. And they were like, yeah, swords. Cool.
It's right. It's mimetic. Apparently. It doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Swords don't do it for me. And because I was less online, like I just assumed I missed like the real point, but it's staying power.
Yeah, there is no real point. The point is swords.
But maybe there's a point.
Swords. Yes, we like swords. That's it.
Why do we like swords?
I don't know, but so does Elon. Look, he's wearing a gladiator. I don't know, but we do. Like,
all right,
they're
fine.
cool. Yeah, I really.
You guys are swords, but it was everywhere.
It's everywhere, and it just popped off like crazy. And she's running rounds now, and she was in the top 5 after week 1. So it's been really pretty fun to kind of watch this just sort of happen out of nowhere. But yeah, just a fun little thing, happening. And in it totally on the other end of the spectrum, something that has been being worked on for years is Equilibrium, and shipped this week on Equilibrium. This is from Cassie, initial release of public beta of Quorum, our E2EE and P2P alternative to Discord, why Q was originally built in the first place. Probably the reason you saw a bunch of casts with a long string of letters starting with QM, which I needed to go do whatever I needed to do, and I just haven't had a chance. Launched with one of my favorite ads I've made so far on X. Milestone 2/3 next up for testnet through Quorum is all ready to test some of this now. And here was that little ad, but I forgot to set this for audio, so you can go check that out. Sorts. And this from Cassie, we had more active users in the first hour of launching Quorum than some apps have in their 31 million strategic funding round years into their project being live. Make it make sense. So that's really cool. Really cool to see. And the way I think I make that make sense is proof of work. is Farcaster proof of work. I really think it's the Farcaster connection, first of all, and having that group of folks ready to dive in and try something new. And then just the amount of work that she's put in and the time she spent building sort of this group of folks who are already running nodes and all these different things. So I think that's how I would. What do you think?
If that is true, I love that story for all of us. That narrative that it's like only on Farcaster. It's the two things. So we did shout out Farcaster 101, where we talk about what makes Farcaster unique and why people should come check it out is because you have people who will use your product. It's like people who will use but I think on the other side of that is the build in public, which is Cassie's been building in public, talking about Equilibrium, getting people involved, and not without any hiccups. Like she's had challenges along the way and she talks about it. So she's fully building in public. And therefore, when you see someone, you trust her. You trust that this is something, it's not something she spun up on a weekend and is kind of like half-assed it. It's like, this has been her passion project. And, if you saw her talk at FarCon, remember that talk she gave?
Yes. So good. Barely understood it. One of my favorite talks from FarCon. And because she went through the history of computing.
Yeah.
It was very cool. And she had visuals of these old computers. And it was really interesting. Super interesting.
And she's been talking a lot about Equilibrium. There's a Equilibrium white paper that I scanned. And then she was like, okay, that's too hard for people to understand. Then she dumbed it down. It was like the explain it like I'm 5 Equilibrium. I understood a lot of it, but I still didn't it didn't fully click. And she keeps saying that's not on you. I'm like, and I said to her, I was like, Cassie, it's because I need a weekend to quietly read it. I was like, it's not that I couldn't understand it. It's like, I just didn't because I didn't have the time to. And she kept saying that's not on you. That's on me. I need to communicate it better. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. But anyway, but also for me, seeing Quorum Messenger, and I don't know, I used it, which is the first app built on Equilibrium and combined with the ad that she made, which is fantastic. I was like, oh, okay. And because then I could go through the steps of, it's end-to-end encryption for messaging.
Yeah.
That you do not need a phone number. You do not need an email. You need your device. It is peer-to-peer. Equilibrium's a peer-to-peer network. So no centralized, server, and the messages do not stay anywhere on the network. They're only on the network during transit.
Okay.
So they only live on your devices. There's no backup anywhere else. They don't stay on the network. And they're stored kind of locally on your phone or your device, your history. If you clear your cache, they're gone.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So it's really meant to be a truly
private
and secure private messaging network.
Interesting. I feel like, she has such a specific point of view and passion that just goes into every choice she makes as a founder choice, you know what I mean? Which I really appreciate. That very focused energy. So it's amazing to see it all coming to life. So
we've talked about getting her on for years.
I know we need to get her on.
Our way, Cassie.
And I'm curious, that now. We need to do that now because now we really have something to dive into that's more accessible for everybody. So I think that would be it's time. We got to get her on here. And I think this is one of those moments where I think about this and then I think about also what Phil had said. Let me see if I can find it. I hadn't gotten to that yet. Today I got bored and watched some TV. July wrote a screenplay. We are not the same. Excuse me.
Oh, I missed this one. I got to read July's. I got up really.
It's really funny.
I got really into this idea yesterday. It's not a Bond film anymore, but I did end up writing a 15-page, 8-episode TV series outline. Oh, just an outline. It's not a full script.
It's just an outline.
Come on, July.
The reason I'm connecting these two together is just this is why I'm on Farcaster.
Yeah.
Like this one who is creating a camera that can digitally notarize events and help us deal with AI and also, help build flying cars. Also just wrote a screenplay. And then, Cassie's reinventing the whole concept of, peer-to-peer encrypted messages. And like, we get to be here and be a part of this. And it's, to me, just an amazing thing. So this is why I'm on Farcaster. Things like this. By the way, I would totally watch this. I would like this built, please, and thank you. Like, send it. We need to send this. Couple other thing from some amazing builders. Yes, there's been a lot.
Spin up a DAO. Spin up a DAO real quick.
Build it. Let's do it.
And we'll get it funded.
Yeah, I think it sounds amazing. Like, honestly, I would totally watch this. This from Steven Sill. He dropped this yesterday. IRL is an app, sends out a notification once a day for you to post a picture of what you're doing. Only visible to your mutuals on Farcaster, available now, irl.steer.fun. So similar to Be Real, I believe is what he said. And I should probably do that like right now while we're doing the show. Would be really kind of funny. This was, like he was the one who also did the stories type of app where you could add to your story. Okay, I'm going to post late. I'm allowing my camera, taking that picture and taking this one. It does a weird thing where it does a picture from both directions.
Oh,
so yeah.
Right. It's because then you can't really fake it.
Right. So you're getting both.
I think.
So it's kind of fun, something fun. Go check it out. And if you're on there, I just posted. So go give it a look.
Did you sign up for it already?
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, I was on it. So it's pretty cool.
I'm doing it now too, but.
All right, awesome. And there's like you're supposed to post within 5 minutes, but there's a posting late option. So I'm just going to tell you right now, Steven Sill, I'll be posting late, probably every time. This from, oh God, how do we pronounce his name again? Hall, right? Hall. I was trying to remember. Howley. Okay, Howley.
Wait,
release.
Excuse me, I don't remember.
Holly. It was U-Haul, right? Holly.
But yes. with the hard E at the end, right? Holly.
I think so. Holly. We hope.
I literally learned it though. Like after all the times we've said it wrong, I took the effort to learn it and then
forgot.
Vacation, Holly.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
I need to meet you in real life.
Yes,
like,
I think
by the way, if I had a face and like we like sat across and like had a coffee together, it would be burnt into my brain. But because it's just some stupid PFP and letters, it's just like
it doesn't make sense.
I can't learn it.
It's so funny. Okay, well, this is from however you say his name. Released the final updates for Recaster in 2024. A lot of bug fixes, user location, and ETH address verification support. At the start of 2024, I never thought I'd be building on Farcaster. Looking back from Recaster to Modbot, then Newcaster, what I've done has exceeded my own expectations. Most importantly, I've made many great friends on Farcaster, received incredible support from the community. Thank you all, as always. Happy New Year. See you in 2025. Just thought that was a nice little note. And then we also had this from Kevin O'Connell. O'Connell and I launched Agent Scan V2. You can now see highlighted OLS.network agents and ask them questions based off their transactions and code. Try it out here. And I had not seen this for some reason. I completely missed this. And it was interesting because when I saw it was from this random hot take. And then I went back and was like, how come I didn't see this? This is weird. The reason I liked Farcaster so much when I joined was I was able to meet and get to know a new group of people that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to know. Similar to what we were just talking about. Today, it's just not the same. There's not a lot of new content that I look at and go, whoa, lately X has been doing for me. Biggest need, in my opinion, is to bring more of this to the network, especially since distribution is so much better on X. This has more views than most, if not all, of my top casts here. And I have 312 X followers and 54,000 Farcaster followers. A lot of it boils down to giving net new users a reason to try it out. Using crypto in a positive some way is one direction. Warpcast rewards is a great example of this. I'd argue it would be good to go further. One way off the top of my head could be using all of the 2.8 million ETH in the storage registry for developer creator incentives, which creates new experiences, which creates new content. So here's the part that I thought was weird. So he has this like video on Twitter, which I just did not see anywhere natively on Farcaster. And I don't know if that helped sort of drive more attention or whatever, but it was a great point. We do need more content. We do need more people, all those things, but also like, I still want curated, I still want like the good stuff, and not everything I see on Twitter is good. Like, I'd say only about 5% is. So do we want all of it? Probably not. Probably not. Thoughts on what he had to say there? And then we're going to start to wrap up.
Well, I'm busy over here trying to post on Farcaster Be Real.
Okay.
And I'm having some issues. Steven, still, all right. So I guess maybe I have to do this another time.
Okay.
Because we're live on a show and you're talking about something.
Yes, I'm talking about something else.
Anyway, so agree with him largely. I think about kind of like early Farcaster, it does feel a little different. Nothing's static, right?
Yeah.
Like, and your experience on apps, like I feel like it's constantly changing. For me personally, Twitter does see, like, there's a ton of more. It's just, there's so much more. Yeah. I accidentally must have watched something bad at some point, and now the algorithm is feeding me slop. I'm like, can I just do a reset? Like, I don't.
It's really hard to undo once you do it. Yeah.
So, Twitter's almost, it is slop of slop of slop. So I'm only on following now. The For You feed is so fucked for me.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm discovering anything interesting on Twitter. It is like pure outrage, bait, and like polarization shit.
Coming to you now on Twitter. Hi.
Are we on Twitter?
Yes, we are. That's so funny.
So
yeah, but I agree.
But that being said, I think Farcaster, like my experience on Farcaster, I think there's so much more volume than there was.
Yeah.
And the ratio of like really good insight to everything else has probably swapped a little bit. So when it was smaller, there was much less, but it was like really, really high quality. Like anything you saw was like, wow, this is amazing. And I don't feel that way anymore. And like, I'll scroll and like, I will scroll on Farcaster and kind of get to the end. And I'm like, that was kind of boring, if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah. You're allowed to, yeah.
Not all the time, and it takes, what I'm noticing is for me to get a good experience on Farcaster, it still requires effort. Like when I cast and reply, it feels so much better.
Yeah.
When I scroll, it's like, it's not the same. So on Twitter, I can scroll and be entertained in in a completely dumpster fire of like misogyny and racism. That seems to be all I'm getting.
You definitely clicked on the wrong thing, but it's entertaining.
Oh, I know. I'm like, go back. I don't want this. Where's my DevOps?
This is why I have different accounts. and I have different accounts.
Content?
Like I have a totally different account that I look at politics on Twitter and news. Because if I bring that into my crypto account, it just messes everything up and I stop seeing like the folks I want to see in regards to Web3. So I have to be like very careful about that because every once in a while I'll see something and I'll click on the wrong thing and I'm like, oh no. Unclick.
And then you just
Like,
see
let me
so
go
much
switch
more of
accounts.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want it over here. Yeah, it's a lot, but I do think that there are some good points in there that yes, we need more interesting content. Yes. All that stuff, but also like I still feel like I find more interesting people and more interesting things that they're doing and make sure that like, yes, I get, sharing that on Twitter for reach, but like, don't forget us over here in Farcaster. That was like, a good example with Scott Comers, like posting the math thing over on Twitter. Okay, yeah, you're going to get a wider reach, but also you're probably going to have a lot more people who are actually very interested in what you're saying if you posted it on Farcaster because like, that they're your people. Like they're, they love math stuff. It's like, I don't know. Like you're missing out. You're missing out on the people that you actually connect with on this issue rather than, they're scrolling past, oh, that's interesting kind of thing. So for what it's worth. All right, let's start to wrap this up. We still have a few more links. Yeah, it's been a lot. I get it. It's been a lot. This was so funny to me from Alina. quote casting Jace. We did another cast out. I'll just leave this here. Like, Jace, we missed you.
Yeah, we did say.
We missed you. We really did.
We did say we needed you.
Yeah. And so that happened since we were last on. So congratulations, Garrett, who was our final winner in Cast Out Meme Coin Island. We got to review and revamp and we'll bring it back again, probably maybe Marchish. We'll see. And a couple other quick things. This is from AfroChicks. Just filmed the last 2 workouts of Fitcember. A lot goes into planning, filming, editing, designing graphics, and slowly updating the leaderboard each day, but it's been totally worth it. I'm so grateful. Everyone who's taken part, engaged with the workouts, and supported. Let's finish the year strong. To the smart people who did the Fitcember, like you're so far ahead of the game with all these people who are just starting their New Year's resolutions. Congratulations. Well done. And lastly, I'm going to leave with this. Go give it a read. This Jimmy Carter just passed away a couple days ago, and Keckers had posted this Jimmy Carter's message on the Voyager. The Voyager is the telescope, I think, right? Spacecraft. That's not a telescope. That's Hubble. Spacecraft that's been heading out into space to bring like a message from us since the 70s. And this was his message there. But just like a note, I still believe that Jimmy Carter is the best former president we've ever had. For whatever issues he had while he was in office, there is not even a close second to former president impact than Jimmy Carter in terms of habitat humanity alone, like without even looking at areas where he, went around the world to help with peace plans and things like that. Just his impact in habitat humanity, you gotta appreciate that, and just his integrity and what he brought to the table in terms of his just values and bringing those to the office. So, passed away at 100 years old. Amazing life. So thank you, Mr. President, for all you did. And that's it. Any thoughts? Any last things that I missed?
About Jimmy Carter or about
in general,
Farcaster
anything.
and swords and Farcade and
there was a lot. This is what happens when you're gone for a week and a half. There was a lot.
I think in an hour and 10 minutes we covered enough. I
we
did
made
like
up for how many episodes did we miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 about something like that. So yeah,
we did not even miss that many. I think just
like 5.
Oh,
Well, last week,
yeah, you're
the Friday
right.
before and the
3 plus
Monday.
2.
Yeah. So 5 episodes, but it's a lot in
Yeah.
in
We're back
Farcaster
Friday.
world.
Are we back Friday?
We're back Friday. Do we have a guest Friday? We might have a guest Friday.
We
Isn't
don't.
January 3rd? Did that
January
change?
10th.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind.
We got a guest next Friday.
It's next Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you need some guest hosts early next week.
Oh God, is that next week? All right, we'll talk after we get off of here. If I have anybody hiding in the chat who is up for guest hosting, let me know. By the way, this is funny. DGen Veteran was in the chat. I didn't even realize. Thanks for shout out. I'm West Coast on New Year's Day. It's early, but still here for the GM. We appreciate you being here. Yeah, you killed it with the game. You beat me. You beat me. I'm officially beat. All right. And with that, everybody, I hope you've had a lovely New Year's Day. I hope we helped you kick off 2025 Farcaster style. We will be back Friday at our usual 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We will replay at 11:30. And then we'll get back to like our more regular scheduled stuff next week. So we're kind of rolling into this a little slow. So anything else, Adrian, before we say bye-bye?
I wish you wouldn't have said that. My prediction, people do predictions. My prediction is 2025 is going to be there's going to be nothing regular or normal about this year.
Yeah.
Anything you think that is crazy, everything will go to the extreme. More like things will be more wild and unpredictable than we can imagine. So let's not commit to doing anything regular, but we will be covering Farcaster news about 3 times a week, and it'll be about 29 minutes.
It'll be about 29 minutes ish, normally, and sometimes we'll have a guest. By the way, this was my oops, nope, wrong thing. Hold on. I had a meme that I shared on the timeline, and I felt like it was the most accurate of memes for this year. Like that to me, like encapsulates, I'm hopeful, but I'm nervous. And here we go. So with that, everybody, it's going to be good. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
It's going to be great. And by the way, for us, we have ETH Denver to look forward to next month already, like end of February. We have FarCon in May.
Yeah.
We have we're going to have fun.
It's going to be a really fun year, but yeah, I think that it's going to be a lot. So here we go. And with that, everybody, we're going to say bye-bye and Happy New Year.